because he fouled out against Duke is Azubuike. Dominant. You just saw like it was times where he just put his finger up and just said, throw it up. And no one could outjump the guy because the guy, he's looked like he's about 8 feet tall, but he goes 7 feet, but he looked like he's 8 feet tall. So they need to use him, but also keep him out of foul trouble. Guys like Malik Newman. Malik Newman was balling in that game against Duke, playing basically fearless, in that game. And Vic also, Legero Vic, he played a part in that. They're going to need those guys. And their point guard, Garrett, I don't know why I was going to call him Baglet. I don't know where I got that from. But they are going to need, all these guys, for Villanova. Because Villanova has experience, like I just said, but they are a high-powered offense. Now, I'm going to stay with Lopez's pick. I'm going to go with Villanova. But I think Villanova will finally get their first tested game, and they win by 3 points. No blowout. Like I said, it's going to be, in the 90s. But they barely get by on Kansas, at this point. So my pick, Villanova versus Michigan. And we'll know because I'll be back on Saturday, and I'm plugging myself here, Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we'll be on that Michigan-Loyola game. I think we'll be well into it. I don't know if it'll be actually over. So by the time we end the show, we'll know who's in the championship game, and then we'll be talking about the Kansas and Villanova game as well. But I'm going to go with, it's going to be a Villanova-Michigan championship game, and then we'll go from there as far as like picking a winner on there. Mocha Bella in the Wait a Minute Show chat room, she says, stop it, Jelani. You did your own bracket. Mocha Bella, I'm trying to tell you what had happened was that I was going to do my bracket. But I got a call, and Mocha Bella is the person that put together this bracket competition. But you needed it done. So I said, look, Lopan, you're here with me every day. You know how I feel about these teams. So just fill it out. You got me, right? And Lopan was like, indeed. So I said, yeah, take care of it. He submitted it. It went in. I come back. I look at it. And I just looked at Lopan and said, what did you do? What did you do, Lopan? Indeed. And that's all he told me, So I submit it. So I got to roll with it, and it started falling apart. And as it fell apart, piece by piece, brick by brick, I just looked at Lopan and just said, you did this, bruh. You did this. Indeed. Yes, you did, Lopan. So, Mocha Bella, it wasn't me. Angry Black Man also says the key to the Kansas-Villanova game in which point guard Brunson or Graham can stay out of foul trouble. Brunson, I like Brunson. Brunson is a guy, who he knows what he's capable of, and he's even kill. Not too high, not too low, or anything like that. Never get shook about anything. It's just like, we got this. We got this. 334 Bama Boy's in here. He said, I think Loyola Chicago will beat Michigan. Bama Boy, you're entitled to your opinion. So I could see why you think that they would beat Michigan. Yes, I'm a little biased, in my reply to that. So I'm not denying that, 334 Bama Boy. But look, Loyola has a very good shot of getting to the championship game. This will not be easy for Michigan at all. Like I said before, these kids are not playing scared. These kids are riding the wave, and these kids, they're competing, and they got players. They have their own players, so it's going to be interesting because Michigan and Loyola, there's two teams, that one, we know nobody had Loyola getting this far, but Michigan, it's kind of like, I don't know. It might have been a dark horse, and now it's played out that they got a chance for the championship game. But I do know one thing. It's going to be a good game. So I told you earlier, we'll get off the game, but we're going to stay with the game a little bit. I told you earlier, there's a coach in the NCAA, and if you've been in the Wait a Minute Show chat room, Angry Black Man's kind of giving it away, but it's no problem with that. Coaches get a lot of credit in the NCAA. They get paid a lot, and sometimes they get a lot of the blame, but they get a lot of the credit when a team does well. And there's one coach that I think we really need to start giving him his just due. And that coach is in the Big Ten, and it is not Tom Izzo. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time, as Angry Black Man said, it is time to give John Beilein, University of Michigan Wolverines men's basketball coach, his due. This guy is doing things that other coaches haven't done. So just bear with me for a second. He got there in 2007. So let's just go there. We all know about the whole thing with the Fab Five, Chris Webber, and all this stuff, vacating wins and all this stuff. All that stuff happened. And with the addition to Michigan State propelling themselves as the primary school in Michigan if you were going to go play basketball. Started with my Flintstones, Charlie Bell, Mateen Cleaves, Morris Peterson, Antonio Smith. A lot of people forget about Antonio Smith. Then you had guys like Jason Richardson. Jason Richardson went from Flint, but you had other guys that was from the state of Michigan that instead of them going to Michigan, because that used to be the thing. After Magic had left and all that stuff, you had guys like Sean Respert and all that stuff that went to Michigan State, but you had Glenn Rice that went to Michigan, Ramil Robinson that went to Michigan, and then like we just said, the Fab Five, Tractor Trailer, Maurice Taylor. I mean, it was a bunch of guys that would go to the University of Michigan. That all fell off after the Fab Five, and Michigan State took over the state of Michigan as far as like getting the basketball recruits. So he's not getting the top recruits in the state of Michigan. He's going to find other guys to play at the University of Michigan amid all the stuff that went on with the school. The other thing, his recruiting class. We talk about how John Calipari, he got the top, ranked recruiting class, or Bill Self, the recruiting class and all that stuff. John Beilein has never had, as far as I know, John Beilein has never had a top 10 recruiting class. Just last year, I think he was 34th, maybe 38th or something like, no, I'm sorry, 43rd. I'm looking it up right now on 247 Sports for 2017, 43rd in the recruiting class. So if we go back, I'm going to go back on here, and I haven't even looked at this. So I'm just telling to you as I see it now. He was 43rd for 2017, 31 in the recruiting class for 2016. Let's see if we can check 2015. And I'm making a case, for my man John Beilein, on here. And Angry Black Man just talked about it, about he's being long overdue. So, not a top 10. Let's see. 2015. I don't even think he's not even in the top 40. Oh my gosh. He's not even in the top 50. Did I miss something? No. So, this guy has only, let me just tell you what he's done. His success as the Michigan's basketball coach since 2007 is when he got there. They were in a national championship game in 2013. And they possibly could be in another one after Saturday. That's extraordinary. Big Ten tournament champs. They won that 2 years in a row, this year and last year. Tournament appearances. Since 2007, Michigan has been in the tournament 2009, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, and of course this year. Tournament Sweet 16 appearances since 2007, 2013, 14, 17, of course this year. That's 4 Sweet 16 appearances. Elite 8, he got 3, 2013, 14, and of course this year. So, and Final Four appearances, he got 2, of course. Which makes sense. Michigan hasn't had that much success before he got there. And I remember Steve Fisher, and everything, and the Fab Five and all that stuff. And things, kind of fell off slowly but surely. And Michigan was not a school that anybody, still at this point, not, you had guys that came through there, like LeVert, who's playing for the Nets. Jamal Crawford went there. So you have, a few guys that came through there. But these guys that's on this team right now, Wagner and, Harrison, and all that stuff, Robinson, I don't know if any of these guys are going to go to the NBA, but that's not important. The important part is that John Beilein has had success with not the talent level that other coaches have had. He's done it the right way. As far as I know, if he had any problem, this is crazy, but no booster problems or anything like that. I don't think Michigan is probably going to come up on the list of the FBI investigation. I hope not, but the proof is in the pudding. I just said it. Since he's been there, 2 Final Four appearances. Since he's been there, 3 Elite 8 appearances. He has gotten guys to play together and guys to compete and play well in the tournament, So I think it is time when we start talking about coaches who do an excellent job in college basketball. If you're going to bring up Tom Izzo, which is a great coach, don't get me wrong, you have to bring up John Beilein. Remember, I forgot the previous coach that was there because he played at, I don't know why I want to call him Tommy Amaker because I might be right about that because he went and played, coached at Princeton and he might still be there at this point. But he was there and they didn't have success. The success that John Beilein is having. John Beilein wasn't a guy that everybody was after. He wasn't the sexy pick. He wasn't the John Calipari. He wasn't the Bill Self. He wasn't the, Roy Williams, Coach Cream, or anything like that. He was just a very, very, very good coach. And last and final, I hope, and I'm going to go to football a little bit. I hope Jim Harbaugh is watching this. I hope he is seeing how this man is doing this, and some of that rubs off on the football team. But I honestly think it is long overdue for Michigan coach John Beilein to get his just due. So I can't force him to do it, but here on this show, kids, get your butt up. Yeah! Give it up for Coach Beilein for doing an excellent job in getting these kids to play together and getting through the tournament and the success that they've had. They went through the stuff last year with the whole plane accident and everything, and they made a run, in the tournament last year. So John Beilein, man, I'm telling you, a coach that don't get talked about but should be talked about. JY3 said, my homeboy Gerard Ward went to Michigan, passed up a lot of other schools to go north. So we appreciate that. We appreciate any time someone chooses Michigan over another school. So now that I done tooted John Beilein's resume, they got to win. They got to win. Because if they don't win, Mocha Bella is going to be on me. And I don't need that, in my life. I just need them to win, at this point. So, having said that, we're going to take another break. You listen to the Wait a Minute Show. Your man, Jelani JB Bodie, in here, Hump Night. We're going to come back, get into some NFL talk. We got some rule changes. And after that,